Okay.
Yeah. And someone's going to be the moderator.
Hello, everyone, and good night and good evening.
night.
And good morning to some of you, depending on the part of the world you're in, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So this is Elder Andel and Priest Tyrone, and we're super excited to be here on this Friday night. I hope everyone is hearing us nice and loud. We had a few little technical hiccups before we got online, but give us a thumbs up in the chat room if you're hearing us and seeing us nice and clean. We need your input. Tonight, I want to get right into this.
Yeah, let's get into it.
And it's really your lesson that I'm here to support, right? So tell me about the lesson that you wanted to talk about tonight.
Well, the lesson I wanted to talk about actually came from an inspiration from a video that you sent me and had to do with the prophet Jeremiah. So I watched that video and I got inspired because seeing the torment that Jeremiah had to go through from a child, being rejected by his parents, being forbidden to marry and so on, having to teach a stubborn and a stiff-necked people about their own God, had to bring them back to serving their God. And that's why the title is called No Strange God, Don't Talk to Strange Gods. Now, when we were young, as many of you know, and Elder Andy, you can attest to this, our parents always said to us, when you go out, don't talk to strangers. Why? Like,
a good question.
Like, don't talk to strangers. Like, the reason being is because the strangers your parent doesn't know. The strangers you don't know. They could take you away, they could lead you astray, they could do all of those kind of things. So it's kind of a inbuilt thing with us in terms of strangers. Now, we're not talking today about literal strangers and human beings and person to person. We're talking about strange gods. So this concept came from somewhere. And I see it being coming from the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, who from the beginning spoke about other gods and strange gods, many gods that he saw people in the world worshiping.
I like that, and I think, and let's get right to it, because you know, when we get into discussions like this, sometimes the time just passes this fast,
Real quick.
right?
Real quick.
And you told me that we want to talk a little bit in Jeremiah tonight. And this being, so we just finished the first Sabbath of the first month in our Israelite calendar, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the month of Bib. We just experienced the first Sabbath today. Right now it's sunset, so it's almost over. And so we're so happy to have the privilege of being alive today, to at least go through a message to the world. And I think the first thing we need to talk about is Passover.
It's definitely the Passover.
Because next week, Friday, which is March the 26th, at sunset, is the Lord's Passover, even the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So we may not be, well, we will not be live next week. We'll have a recorded video, but we won't be live next week because we will be keeping Passover in our homes.
As instructed.
As instructed. And so I think it's just a good thing for us tonight. When we talk about don't talk to strangers, even the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Priest Tyrone, did signs and wonders in the land of Egypt to make a name for himself, to separate himself from all the other gods, that his people will see him here and the other gods here, and they would cleave to him like he cleaved to them. But as we get into the book of Jeremiah,
we begin to see the disobedience of our people. And even just like as you said, like he showed the signs and the wonders of himself to the people, to his own children, right? Who he gave them his own name. But guess what? When Moses said, well, what name should I say? I often think to myself, wow, so they knew so many different gods' names. This name that he had to stand apart from all the thousands, the millions, or whatever of gods that was there. So 100%. He separated himself from the other gods of Egypt. And that's really something to think about, because as we're going, as you said, into Passover, again, he had to show and separate himself away from, listen, this is what we do. This is what I do. This is what I have for you, my people Israel. And don't look at any other strange God. Don't look at any other strange God, but look unto me. Look unto me. Everything that we're doing is unto the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. So, I mean, we can get straight to it. Let's go straight to it. So we're going to turn to Exodus chapter 13. Again, this is about remembering the Passover. I'm going to read from verse 1. Let's get into it. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Sanctify unto me all the firstborn, whatsoever openeth the womb among the children of Israel, both of man and of beast, it is mine. And Moses said unto the people, Remember this day, very specific, in which ye came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage, for by strength of the hand of the Lord brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. I mean, I love just that, just right there, Randall.
Yeah.
Just remember this day. And you said something, right?
Yeah.
You know, we just, you know, it's the 7th day of the month of Abib.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, we keep the laws, statutes, and commandments, and we understand about the new moon and the Sabbath days. Doesn't it make you feel good that all those years ago, up until this time, we're still keeping that?
Oh, I got you.
Right up until now.
I got you.
Right up until now.
You know what our elder usually say around Passover season? It should be a time of reflection.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It should be a time that every single one of us, wherever you are in the world, you sit quietly wherever you are, and you think about your path, of how you got to where you are now. You think of the helping hand of the God of Israel throughout every single season of life. You think about the good, you think about the bad, you think about the ugly, but most importantly, you thank God for seeing another Passover season, another new year. And you know what? It says, by the strength of his hand or his might, did he deliver our fathers out of the land of Egypt. You've got to be thinking, you know, when we left Egypt, Egypt has never been the same ever since.
Never since.
It's never been the same.
Never.
And once we got out of the water, from the Red Sea, the people murmured. The people fought. The people said, well, did God bring us here to die?
Die. Would we go back and remember the sweetness of Egypt, the food? And that's, I mean, I can see the stress in your body language, just reflecting upon that and just seeing just how our people behave towards our God. It's something to reflect and to think about. It really is. But verse 4 of Exodus 13.
Well, you're three. You mentioned also in that scripture.
Yes.
As we're talking about Passover, you mentioned there shall no leavened
bread be eaten. Now, leavened bread.
Yes.
At this time, we understand that the gods, the other gods, and we're talking about not talking to strangers, being other gods. They have their gods or their strange god, Easter.
Yep.
Now, they always like to have around that time, they have hot cross bun, leaven, full white bread, and it's all full, and they put a big cross.
Extra leavened, you mean?
Extra leavened. Extra leavened.
Yeah.
Now, that's not what's commanded by the God of this book, right? And they call it Good Friday. Like,
oh, wow, nice.
Like Easter and Good Friday. That was, you know, it's great. And they don't eat lamb, they eat fish instead of lamb.
And that's why, you know, that's why when we talked, and Priest Tyrone and I, I'll be honest with you, we talked about an hour ago about this message. And we just kind of swooped in, the AV team kind of swooped in. We weren't prepared to go live tonight. We're going to be showing something else.
Right.
So we got this together within about 40 minutes,
40
right?
minutes or less.
But, you know, we were all super pumped to do this because it's the first Sabbath of our year.
That's right.
We remember the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We remember his mighty right hand. We remember how he met Moses on that mountaintop. We remember when he told Moses, take that rod up, pick it up, put it down and turn to a snake. Put your hand in your bosom, take it out. It was white, put it back, it came out black.
That's right.
Right? We remember when he said, take off your shoes from off your feet, for the place wherein thou standest
is holy ground.
Gotta love this, man. Like, you gotta love this season.
You have to. You have to. And you have to also remember all of these things, because you've just gone over some very significant parts of our Father's history, of our history. And that is serious to understand that. It really, really is. I mean, how could you not love this God? How could you not love this season? Knowing that he's already said to us to keep, that this is the month I bring you out of Egypt. Out of bondage, by the way. Bondage, affliction, your torment, your sickness, all the things that ailed you. You went forward, not backwards.
Yeah, I agree.
Not backwards, man. And then he prepared, he said, look, on this day, leavened bread.
Yeah.
Leavened bread. Why?
Yeah. Don't eat it.
Man.
Make sure you have unleavened bread next week, guys.
Not leavened, not a cake.
Yeah, no cakes.
No cakes, no biscuits.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
I know we're getting somewhere, but when we talk about don't talk to strangers.
That's right.
Priest Ricardo. Maybe, I'm thinking about the guy. But Priest Tyrone said that when we were growing up, we were told by our parents, our uncles, our teachers, and adults around us, don't talk to strangers. And reason being is because you can get hurt, right? You can get stolen, abducted.
Yep.
You get hurt. You get hurt if you go out there and you're adventurous talking to strangers. Stick to your family. Stick to those who are familiar with you.
Right.
The same thing, Exodus 20 says, thou shalt not have no other gods before me. What does that mean? Our parent basically just said,
that's it. Don't talk to strangers.
Don't talk to strangers. Right? Our spiritual parent said to us, do not talk to strangers. But what did we do? Yeah, but what did we do?
Talk to many strangers.
Yeah.
Like every
and what
single
happened?
stranger that came, well, they abused us, they spoiled us, they corrupted us. And then on top of that, what happens when you talk to strangers and you get hurt, your father chastises you.
Yeah, that's right. You should have known better.
You should have known better.
Yeah.
If you did that and your mother or your father said, don't talk to strangers, you get hurt, you're going to get hit, you're going to get punishment. What did I tell you? I told you not to do that, right?
Yep.
And it's the same thing, like you said, our spiritual father has told us not to talk to strange gods. Simple, strangers. But yet still we do it habitually. And without remorse. We just
it's become normal.
Ignorance. It's normal.
It's a normal way of life for most of our people. Most of the people that look like you and I, Priest Tyrone, it's a normal way of life serving other gods. Yeah. You know, you and I talked before, and we talked about the scripture that says, can a leopard change his spots? Right? No, but my people, which are our people, have changed it over and over and over and over and over and over again. You know, when we talk about Passover season, it is about rekindling your relationship with your God. Your God, not the strange gods out there.
That's right.
It's to be appreciative that, and it's true. You know, when you look at, we talk about Jeremiah, God didn't talk to any nation.
No.
He did not talk to any nation, Priest Tyrone.
No other nation.
No other nation. He's God, right?
And he says it very clearly. Israel, my people.
That's it.
Israel, my people. I don't know how much clearer he needs to make that statement.
But here's where I'm going with that. So he didn't talk, and he has not talked to any other nation.
No.
This is God. This is God who created the heavens and the earth, guys. You follow what I'm saying?
I'm following you.
He doesn't come down and just talk to people casually.
No, he doesn't.
Even with the children of Israel, he sent prophets who rose up early to deliver the message on behalf of God, right? He doesn't talk to people. But at this time that we're reading about with the Passover, God himself came down upon the mount. And they heard his voice. And Moses had to say, was there ever a time, guys,
that you've heard this?
That any nation, before this time or even after, in the world, that God came down and talked to a people? That's a big deal.
That's a big deal. And you understand why he's going to be so hurt when they decide to go against what he's saying. And disrespect is that, hold on, like you just said, there's never been a time before and there won't be after. During this particular time, we're looking at we're seeing the God of Israel come down and speak to Israel. Israel, only you have I known. Only you have I known. And I'm going to chastise you for all of your yourself in order, man. Shape up, because I'm giving you the world. I'm giving you everything. Go into the land. Okay, let's.
Yeah. But just my last point, and I know I'm going to keep my phone here so we keep on track with time.
Okay, we got it.
So when we're doing unleavened bread, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are candidates to sup with us for the first time listening, you know, we have our Passover classes this Sunday, so we'll go through the details. But those of you out there who still are big fans of the Israelite Nation Worldwide Ministries, you want to at least keep the Passover. It is next week, Friday at sunset. You eat lamb, you have your unleavened bread and your bitter herbs. Unleavened bread is just 100% whole wheat, extra virgin olive oil, and water. That's it.
That's it.
There's no salt and sugar, egg, cinnamon, nutmeg. There's none of that, all right? The scriptures tell us fine flour mingle with oil and your water, and that's it, guys, okay? So let's move on.
That's it. No, excellent. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah.
So verse 4, Exodus 13.
Hold on, AV team, we're good? Nice,
good.
Nice.
Okay, so Exodus 13, and from verse 4, it says, "This day came ye out in the month Abib."
Yeah, beautiful, huh?
I mean, that right there should make you feel special. He brought you, this nation of people, out in this month Abib. That's only special to Israel. Not any other nation, not the Amorites, the Jebusites. Okay, well, let's read. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. But Israel, only to Israel. Verse 5, "And it shall be when the Lord shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, and the Hivites, and the Amorites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, which he sware unto thy father to give thee, a land flowing of milk and honey, that thou shalt keep this service in this month." He's bringing us to a place occupied by these 7 nations, greater, more powerful than us. We must always keep this service in this month. This is the God of Israel again saying, don't talk to strangers.
Yeah.
Don't go and talk to the gods of these people.
You know, when you talk to strangers have a sort of magical power to influence the children of Jacob. You know, I mean, you know, one thing, and it's kind of a side note, but I want to remember this.
Right.
I remember a few times we were at the boardroom table at like 5:30 a.m. in the morning on Saturdays, and I remember it came up around the table about how the FBI, CIA are the ones to be blamed for the black people downfall.
To the demise,
And the elder was mad, and I'm saying mad, he's probably saying, no, say passionate.
Passionate.
Okay, he was passionate and says, don't ever say that.
Right.
And it's true, because it is not the CIA or the FBI's problem.
Right.
It is the Jacob who accepts the bribe from the CIA and then goes and betrays their own.
That's it.
If Jacob did not take the bribe from FBI or CIA, then the CIA or FBI can't penetrate Jacob.
It's impossible.
But it's our own who take the bribes, who take whatever it is, and we go and betray our very own people.
And you know, you say that, and that's an excellent point, because again, sometimes we often have to understand that the people of the world know who we are.
Yes.
They know that we are the children of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They know that we're God's chosen.
1,000%, guys.
They know this. So therefore, what do? The same tactics that Satan used with who? Judas. 30
Correct.
Betraying your brother.
100%. It's the same template, right?
Same
template. Judas didn't have to do it.
He didn't have to do it.
Right? But he did.
He did.
So when you talk to strangers, is the point we're bringing here, strangers can influence 1 or 2 or 3 of you, and that 1 or 2 or 3 then comes and infiltrate the entire nation and have them whoring after other gods.
So, and it's, I mean, and then again, now we can go on and on and on, even with the 12 that went into the land with Moses. 10 came back with an evil report.
That's right.
And polluted the whole congregation.
That's right.
That now none of them entered in apart from Joshua and Caleb.
Yeah.
But a different spirit. Like 10 men, man. 10. 10. When you think of it that way, I mean, wow. How else can they get to the children of Israel other than by the children of Israel? Like, it's...
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Verse 6. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and in the 7th day shall be a feast to the Lord. Unleavened bread shall be eaten 7 days, and there shall be no leavened bread be seen with thee, neither shall there be leaven seen with thee in all thy quarters. So, like we said on Andrew, we're not eating hot cross buns with risen and cakes and stuff. That's not the Passover. And not being seen with you shouldn't be in your quarters, meaning in your home.
Yeah, we got to talk about that, right?
Yeah, we have to.
So again, those of you who are going to be in the Passover classes this weekend, you're going to get more details. But I think just so you understand out there, you know, when this season comes around, which starts next week Friday at sunset, someone like myself and Priest Tyrone, before that day, we would have gone through wherever we live, whether it's a flat or a condo, apartment, or a house, wherever we live, we would have gone through the entire living quarters to make sure there's no leavened products in our home. So if you've got, I don't know, leavened bread, normal bread, finish eating that now, right? Before next week Friday come around. If you got cookies and muffins, you got all,
in the cupboards, because they all get lost in there, right?
Clear it out, right? Clear it out. And only within that Passover season, you're gonna have unleavened bread, holy bread. I'm going to tell you that. Holy bread within that 7 days. But anyway, let's go on. Let's move on.
And just with that, Elder Andor, when you said clean it out, again, we are going to also look at what the world has also taken from us.
Yes.
Spring clean, the term spring clean.
Oh, nice, man.
You see where that comes from? Spring clean. Man, you got to think about these things.
I like that.
We get lost in translation when it's really come from us. It's right here. Clean out your quarters.
You guys understand what Priest Tyrone is saying, right? So that term, what he's trying to say tonight is that whole ritual of spring cleaning, they probably ripped from Israel, because this is the time that we clean out all our leavened products. And I don't think you're wrong. I think there's so many things that they have stolen and robbed from us, and they have put their little twist to it.
That's right.
But yeah, I agree.
Definitely. Okay. All right. Verse 8. And thou shalt show thy son in that day, saying, this is done because of that which the Lord did unto me when I came forth out of Egypt. And it shall be a sign unto thee upon thine hand, and for a memorial between thine eyes, that the Lord's law may be in thy mouth. For with a strong hand hath the Lord brought thee out of Egypt. Thou shalt therefore keep this ordinance in his season from year to year.
Some people.
That is beautiful.
Some people have said, Priest Tyrone, and not only some people, let me be specific. People who look like you and I have said they don't keep Passover because it was only for this particular time. But you just read.
I just read it.
From year to year.
He didn't say from year 1 to year 10 of us being.
Oh, just year 1.
Oh, just year 1.
This is from year to year we keep the Passover. And some of you are blessed because you have kept this up for many years. And some of you are also blessed because this is going to be the first year that if God spares your life, you would be keeping your first Passover. You know what? You know when I kept the first Passover?
I cried.
Oh, man.
It was emotional. It was an emotional time. And I can remember.
I think I was out of my body. It was an out-of-body experience. Seriously. I remember eating lamb, and you know, I didn't grow up eating a lot of lamb. I think, truly, I think maybe that was the first time I had lamb, right? So I had lamb, and there was tons of lamb, roasted lamb, Tyrone.
Not half like rare,
not boiled, and not rare, not bloody. So this was roasted, well done. There was herbs on it. Olive oil was drizzled on it.
Nice.
And I sat around the table because that's the day I became a brethren with the Israelite nation. And I remember seeing unleavened bread. They were golden brown with a little bit of char on it, like the nice little char, right? And I broke that bread, and I had lamb, and I ate it, and I'm looking at everyone. I'm like, is this real life? No. You know what I mean? Is this real life? And that day, my friend, I stayed back and I helped wash the dishes. And I'm like, and I remember the conversation I was having with the person who was washing dishes with me. And they're like, do you believe that we just kept the Passover? That person was a first timer too. And I'm like, oh man, all those years I kept Christmas. Religiously. All those years, Tyrone.
And Easter. Oh,
Religiously. Nothing in this book I
Nothing.
kept for all those years. And that first Passover was just, it was really an out-of-body experience for me.
It would be. And
How was yours?
my Passover, I remember, was at 2080 Dufferin. And this time, the whole UK had kind of descended over into Canada, right? And I was there, and I can remember, and I was really I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you say, man? What do you say? I've come over, and I was a bit injured because I had a little accident, and that was my own fight to get here. And I can remember sitting down, everyone sitting around. I can remember seeing yourself, and I remember, wow, this guy's got big eyes, man. And he was looking at me. I was like, wow. But I know that I was good. And I'm like, wow, man, this is like the priesthood. Like, this is what I'm thinking. This is the priesthood of the God of Israel. This Elder Shadrach. And we're sitting down, and I've got my lamb, and I've got my bread, and and actually I can remember it was Elder Pam who was actually sitting next to me. We were sitting together, and it was just emotional. And what goes with that, it's also remembering this time, those years ago, the same thing was happening.
Dude, if you close
We
your
were
eyes,
leaving Egypt.
if you close your eyes, you actually get transported back.
You do.
Like when we're together, not even now, even in the pandemic time, you know, because we still stay spiritually connected.
That's right.
Right? In our own
right.
homes, we're still spiritually connected.
Yeah.
If you should close your eyes, you actually get transported right back
To that time.
to that time
You do.
and
You
all
do.
the times that we keep Passover. It is. And guys, put in the chat room, you know, how did you feel the first time that you had Passover with the Israelite Nation Worldwide Ministries, right? And those of you who hopefully will be keeping it with us, let us know how you feel about this time. This is a bib, guys.
It's a bib.
This
the
is
first
it.
month on the Israelite calendar. The first month.
Gee whiz.
This is like, you start as you mean to go on, as the saying goes, right?
Yeah.
And everything is forward. Everything's forward. You know, we don't want to go backwards. But no Israel. So let's go, because I think that.
Is that where you wanted to go?
Yeah, I wanted to go.
Okay.
I wanted to go there in Exodus, just to set the tone, as you were saying. That our God said, look, I am the God of Israel. I brought you out of the bondage of the furnace of iron. I am the one that did this. There was no other God. There was no other strange God. To get rid of all that's within you. You've seen what my wonders, 10 plagues in Egypt, and not one touched you. Not one. Because you kept my word. I sheltered you. Fiery pillar by day, cloudy pillar by day, fiery pillar by night. I led you. I'm the only, which other God could have done this? No other strange God. No other adopted parent. Now, our fathers adopt many parents. They want to be a stepchild. And they're treated so badly. So badly. And even one, I'm going to interject on this one. I was having a conversation earlier with Elder Michael, and he was watching a documentary of a man, child of Jacob, with a beard, pregnant. Hold on. It was not literally a man, but was a woman with a beard pregnant. What's going on? How many, what God are you serving? What God of it? Come on, man.
The world has gone upside down.
What God are we?
Yeah.
Come on.
The world has gone upside down, and this, you know, you just went through when you were talking about the signs and the wonders that the God of Israel did. Right? He sent frogs. He sent locusts. He sent flies.
He sent hail.
Bloody water. Right?
Darkness.
Brimstone. You named the darkness. He sent the angel of death. All of these plagues fell upon the Egyptians because why? They had his children.
Yes.
And they were having his children in bondage. And enough is enough. Enough is enough. I come to take my children out, and I come to make a separation between the Egyptians and my people and me and their false gods.
That's it.
But here's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. As much as that is such an epic story, as much as that is such an epic time in our Israelite history, as much as that is an epic time in the world of worlds, because never, ever did God do that for a people.
Never.
We became stiff-necked,
Yep.
neck of brass and iron, And we still decided to talk to strangers. And not only talk to them, but to marry them, basically.
Yep.
To build houses for them and burn incense for them. Groves for them.
And sacrifice your children to them even. Imagine that. Sacrifice your children to another God. Our God didn't ask for that. Like, and again, you know what it is as well, Ando? It also makes me reflect and think about how these other gods really mock us and our God. It's a mockery.
It is a mockery.
When Abraham had Isaac,
yep.
and the God of Israel and the Lord God at that time said, sacrifice thy son, take thy son, thy only son,
yep.
Isaac, and sacrifice him. He didn't literally mean, he wanted to test Abraham's faith in him and confidence in him, because there in the thistle was a lamb. But these are the gods saying, we like that. Literally sacrifice your children to us.
Yeah, I hear you.
Sacrifice your children to us, and they make a mockery. It's a mockery. And they take what the God of Israel was doing for his children as a man to see the man, and they now, our people take it and they make it literal. Kill their own children, which God of Israel said, what? Children are a heritage unto me. That's my inheritance, the children.
Right.
But then they go and kill them.
So we got about 59 minutes to talk to our people that's listening to us. And, the God of Israel, it says he took a vine out of Egypt.
Yes.
He took a vine out of Egypt. He cleared a land and he planted that vine. And he put hedges round about that vine.
That's right.
And he, as a husbandman, he watered that vine. He took care of that vineyard.
Yep.
But the vineyard sprouted wild grapes unto him. What more, it says, was he to do? What more could he have done? When we talk about the vineyard, just so you guys understand, that's Israel, right? It's Israel. We talk about taking a vine out of Egypt and he planted it. He cleared the land, actually, to plant it. You know what that means. Right. The Hittites, the Canaanites, the Hittites, he cleared them all out.
Yep.
And he planted Israel there. Yes. And he put hedges round about her. Right. All the spiritual help round about Israel was there. Right? No one can penetrate.
No one can penetrate.
And they couldn't.
Impossible.
But Israel, and we had a call this week. Was a very good conversation. I think it was yesterday. A few of us was on a Zoom video call. And a great conversation was had, Priest Tyrone, and you were there. And I just want to share it with everyone. And one of the things that came out through that call was, we as a people always blame other nations for our predicament.
That's right.
Right? You get a lot of Hebrew Israelites out there. I call them street performers. Yep. They're out there and they're screaming, death to the white man, hate Whitey, hate Esau. The good news is, guys, with the Israelite Nation Worldwide Ministries, is we do this. We do this. Yep. It is our fault that we were stripped from our land because we started to talk to strangers.
That's right.
It is our fault that all the nations are riding over our heads because we decided to cast our God away and to worship false gods. It is our fault that we are punished, that we went through 400 years of slavery. Our fault. The nations are just doing their job. God had called them to do their job, which is to punish us. It's not their fault.
It's not their fault. Look at Nebuchadnezzar. He said, Nebuchadnezzar, my servant, and they had to be afflicted 70 years.
That's right.
After that, then he punished them. So they are there to do a job because of the disobedience of our people.
That's the key.
And that's what it is.
That's the key.
That's literally what it is. I would always say that. I don't know how you said it. You point the finger.
That's
the
right.
thumb
Yeah.
right back in.
Yeah.
You see, you got to take that ownership.
We got to stop as a people blaming every other nation for our downfall. Our downfall is self-inflicted, guys. It is no nation. I'm going to say this. Which camera am I on? No nation. I'm saying this right to you. Can have any bit of power over us if we do the right things in serving the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, keeping his laws, his statutes, and his commandments. No nation, no weapon that is formed against you shall prosper. You understand that? But the reason why we are downtrodden is because the evil I can't even, there's not enough books to contain the evil that we did in the sight of our God. There's not enough books, guys. So until we, in this Passover season, start to reflect and say, you know what, Priest Tyrone? It is us and our fathers that did wrong. Yeah. How do we make sure we don't do that? Again, instead of focusing all our energy on hating the white man and hating this nation and hating that nation and hating this nation, how do we come together as a family and say, how do we prevent ourselves from now and in the future by angering our God and serving other gods by talking to strangers? I mean, how do we do that?
I mean, that is the $1 million question, but it's been given to us as the answer. Serve me. Keep my laws, statutes, and commandments. Keep the commandment. I am the Lord thy God. I'm a jealous God.
Yeah.
Thou shalt have no other God before me. Jealousy, as elders taught us, comes from a place of love. Yeah. So this God loves us. So if he loves us, why would we go and have another God before him? He's given us, like you said, you said it, every single thing. He's planted and cleared out the land, planted us there, put the hedges of protection, everything we need, not just for us adults, our children, 100%, generations.
100%.
Everything is secured if we keep to his laws, statute, command, and not call on other strangers for help. You know, there's this popular saying, which you know, the grass is always green on the other side.
Correct.
Do you know why I think the grass is? Because I took a little time to think about it. Do you know why the grass is always green on the other side?
Why?
It's astroturf. It's fake grass. That's why. Because fake grass, because when you think about it, astroturf is always green, right? It's really bright green. But when you look at it, the astroturf has no earth.
It's deception.
Rubber. It's deception.
It's unnatural.
It's not natural.
Gotcha.
So then you go over there and you're like, oh my gosh, and you realize
can't
it's too
plant,
late.
it can't grow nothing.
Zero.
It's dead.
Rubber.
It's dead.
It's dead. So you go over and start talking to the gods of the dead, thinking that they're giving you life. And they're going to take it.
That's a great point.
And then they're going to take it. So
that's a great point.
It's crazy how to see how far the children of Israel have fallen here.
So it's a good point, right? So good segue into this is that one of those messengers or prophets, because God sent messenger after messenger after messenger to his own people.
Right.
Not to tell them today is a great day, but to tell them stop worshiping other gods.
Stop what you're doing.
And one of those great messengers or prophets, his name was Jeremiah. So let's go into Jeremiah a little bit. I think we're going to...
chapter 7.
Chapter 7.
Yeah, we'll go to Jeremiah chapter 7. And everybody knows, if you're familiar with Jeremiah, I don't know, they call him the wailing prophet or something like that, because he was always bringing them bad news. He was bringing them the truth. Ultimately, he's speaking the truth, and they hated him for it. So I'll read Jeremiah chapter 7 from verse 1. Okay, it says, the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, stand in the gate of the Lord's house and proclaim there this word, and say, hear the word of the Lord, all ye of Judah. Enter in at these gates to worship the Lord. Very specific. Yeah. He's telling them something. Enter at these gates, this way, straight way, not the crooked, not around the corner, to worship the Lord. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel. He identifies himself who we're going to be worshiping again. Not Yabba Dabba Do, Yahudah, and all these things. The Lord God of Israel. And he says, amen.
Wait. We gotta go easy with this one, right?
Yeah.
So one of the conversations, again, you were on that Zoom video call.
Yep.
And one of the things that came up is you mentioned like Yahweh, Yahweh, and all these different variations. And one of the questions that was asked to us was, why don't we use those names? Right? Jeremiah, a very well-renowned prophet of the God of heaven, right? Says not Yahweh in his vocabulary, not Elohim, not Yahweh, not Yah, but he says the God of Israel. And people were wondering, like, why do we stick here? Why do we stick right here? And we said, hey, on that call, God is God. I don't know. God could have 1 trillion names.
Good.
He's God. He's God. He can have 1 trillion names.
Yep.
But here's where the Israelite Nation Worldwide Ministries, the foundation that we live by, which our elder told us. You have to be able to follow instructions. Don't get creative and follow your own mind, guys. Follow instructions. You mentioned earlier that Abraham followed an instruction, which I don't think I could have done. I don't know about you.
Many of us couldn't, no?
Right? I don't know. Take your only son, Isaac, and you take him on the mountain.
No. Of his old age.
Yeah, that's right. Of his old age.
Old age,
wow.
man. Not like you might have another one. Take your only son.
Yeah.
Ishmael's, Abraham, your only son, man. Look how...
And sacrifice him.
Kill him.
Yeah. Yes.
Kill him.
Yes.
Slit his throat.
Yes.
Wow.
You know, when Isaiah did his speech on our New Year celebration, he talked about being obedient. Even Isaac, and I didn't see that point, but little Isaiah brought it out, that Isaac was obedient. He followed his father up that cliff or mountain, right? He followed his father.
He went.
But instructions, guys, no matter how weird you think it is, no matter how funny it may sound, look to our forefathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They followed instructions. Abraham left all he had, all his family, all his wealth, all his neighbors, all his relationships, and he followed a God that he could not see, but he believed in that God. You know, when we talk about instructions, Moses was there at the time of the Passover time and says, God, like you mentioned, when I go to the children of Israel, because they are smart people, they're in Egypt right now, and in Egypt there's 1,000 different gods. When I go there, one of the basic elementary questions that's going to come to me is, which God are you talking about, Moses?
Which his name?
What name should I give them? What should I tell them your name is? Exodus 3 verse 15 says, you tell them, I'm the Lord God of your forefathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial, meaning this is what, you call me this name, I'll remember you. If you use this name, I remember. I will remember you.
Because from this day I said, this is my name to Moses.
This is my memorial to all generations. So guys, we use that name that was commanded to Moses. He may have, God may have, he is God. He may have 1 trillion names, but we try to be as obedient as we possibly can at the Israelite Nation Worldwide Ministries. Who is to say that if his name is Yahweh, for instance, that name was only his name for a day? Who is to say if his name was Elohim, that name was only for a week? But we know in Exodus 3:15, this is my name forever.
That's it. That's it. And also, Orlando, you make an excellent point, meaning that if that was his name only for the week, or that was his name for the disobedient,
for an hour,
call him for 70 years. You're disobedient. And the children of disobedience, you call me whatever, Elohim. And then that's it. It's gone.
That's right.
Then you now take yourself and go and call him that name for disobedient children where he was punishing. Well, then you deserve everything you get.
Yes.
Because that name is identified with punishment. And people, they don't think that. I don't understand. But this name, as you just mentioned, in Exodus 3:15, is my name forever.
That's it.
That's it. It trumps everything.
It does.
Everything. That's, man, I don't know. I don't know how that's not understood. But it's something to think about. So we'll continue. Where am I? Verse number 3.
Yeah, there we go.
Verse number 3. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, amend your ways and your doings, and I will cause you to dwell in this place. Amend your ways and your doings. There's something that you're doing wrong. Like, I don't know. Jeremiah is crying out to this people saying, what are you doing? If you read back in the chapters, they were serving these gods, Baal, and all these. What's wrong with them? And it's so saddening that Jeremiah had to be stripped of his human, natural life. Having a wife, he was forbidden to marry. He couldn't have no children. Oh my gosh. You understand what these things mean? You're just going to be there. You're going to be punched. They're going to come against you, but they won't prevail against you. Still, they're going to come against you. They're going to strike you. Yeah. They're going to spit on you. They might put you in a dungeon. You're going to be living in hay, where it's all pricking your body. There's no comfort for your body. They're going to hang you up, and they're going to leave you there. Oh my gosh. And you still, after that, then they say, okay, Jeremiah, it's okay. Then you still got to go and deliver that word to stubborn and stiff-necked people, as he did.
And dangerous people.
A dangerous people. Amend your ways and your doings. That's a merciful God.
But there's at the end of that verse it says, and I will cause you to dwell in this place. And I'm not going to harp on it too much. But again, we are not here in Canada or you in the U.S. or some of you in the Caribbean or wherever you are because of the evil of the white man.
No.
It tells you here, amend your ways and your doings.
Yes.
And I will cause you to dwell in this place, which was our own land.
That's right.
But we broke everything.
Every rule, every instruction, every commandment, everything. And they did it with vigor, with energy and passion.
They did it like professionals. No, he says, like my people, to do good, they can. But to do evil, they are experts.
Excellent.
They are experts to do evil.
Oh my gosh, that's harsh.
Yeah.
That's hard to even contemplate.
Yeah.
Our fathers actually did that.
And it's sad too.
It's sad, man. It's sad because we could have been like, walking down the streets of Jerusalem right now.
Oh, wow, man.
Relaxing.
Priest sings that.
Sings that as well. And, oh, man.
Let's go back there. Let's go back there a little bit, right? Because you're a daydreamer. I'm a big daydreamer. Yeah. Tyrone, when King Solomon built the temple, he made cedars like the sycamore trees. The sycamore trees were the common trees in the valley, like the common trees.
Yes,
he made cedars as common as sycamore trees. Gold as common as silver.
Yes.
He and his men drank out of no silver vessel, only pure beaten gold. He made targets of pure beaten gold, shields of pure beaten gold. His footstool on his throne was made of pure beaten gold. The temple was overlaid in pure beaten gold. Ladies and gentlemen, he had about 12,000 stalls for horses. And he had coming in year after year because all the kings of the earth brought their treasuries to Israel.
Yep.
They did. King Solomon on earth was like the king of kings.
Yes.
You got to understand that. He was a king of Israel, but like the king of kings. All the kings of the earth, even the queens, came in to us. We lived they looked at the garments we had, the tapestry of the garments.
The order of how they stood in the king's court, outside the court, the inner court, the outer court. And you can imagine the colors, the scenery.
Oh, man.
When the sun and it shines on gold and it's bright. Could you imagine the streets? Everything's in its order. Everyone's standing in array, standing up as children of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, undefeated.
There was no discrimination.
None.
Solomon stood on his brazen scaffold and said, let this house be a house of prayer for all people. Because we want all the kings of the earth to come here and pay tribute to the great God of Israel.
That's right.
Now you have people who, we can't have this one coming into our house, and this one because he's white can't come into. Like the Israelite Nation Worldwide Ministries have truly resurrected the tabernacle of David.
Yes.
We have,
in
teaching it to the whole world that they may see the glory of the God of Israel.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's
Man,
exactly
we had everything, Priest Tyrone. We weren't a poor and impoverished nation. We had the dew. We had the olive. We were fattened with the goodness of the God of Israel.
The grapes. We had everything there. The fattest lambs. We had everything.
Man, the bullocks.
The bullocks. Everything. Could you imagine when it's time for now the altar, when it's being lit, and the tabernacle of our God, the temple, and you could imagine the incense and it's going up to our God.
We were the wonder of the world, guys. We were the wonder of the world. When Israel was unified and they came under the true king, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he spoiled us. I'm going to use that word. He spoiled us. We got to get back to that stage. And this is why this season is so important, to reflect and reconnect. Right? And don't talk to strangers. What camera am I on, guys? Which camera? That one. Don't talk to strangers.
Don't talk to them. They're no good. Strangers are no good. They'll lead you down.
Let's go on.
Let's go on. Okay. Verse number 4. Trust ye not in lying words, saying, the temple of the Lord, the temple of the Lord, the temple of the Lord are these. For if ye thoroughly amend your ways and your doings, if ye thoroughly execute judgment between a man and his neighbor, if ye oppress not the stranger. Now we're talking about...
Okay, thank you. Nice. I like this.
The stranger meaning, as you said...
Not of thy people Israel.
People of thy people Israel.
Yes.
That may not look like Elder Andel and I. Specific. The fatherless and the widow. See, we're not bad people.
Yeah.
You know, if you haven't got a father, oh, get out of here. You have no husband, move. No, we don't do that. We don't do that. And the widow, and shed not innocent blood in this place. We don't just go and kill him. You see, we don't want to kill the white man. Kill them all. Kill them all. We don't do that. He says it right here. Shed not innocent blood in this place. Neither walk after other gods to your hurt. Other gods to your hurt. Other strangers to your hurt. Like we said in the beginning, if you go and your mother and your father, natural mother, father said, don't talk to strangers, you go and talk to strangers and a stranger hurts you, that's because you never listened to instructions.
That's right.
You were told not to.
That's right.
Because you will become hurt. Same thing with our Heavenly Father, who has told us, don't go after strange gods. Same thing. Then will I cause you to dwell in this place, in the land that I give to your fathers forever and ever. Elder, you just described what it could have been like if our fathers had only amended their ways thoroughly. Because it does say that, he says it 3 times. Like, amend your ways, but thoroughly. That means don't leave no stone unturned. Everything. Like, thoroughly check yourself out. Oh, man.
It is something, and again, you know, let me do a time check here. We have about 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
Which is good. Plenty of time for us to kind of unpack this. And I think Priest Tyrone, again, you know, I'm always going to keep going back to the subject title, which is Don't Talk to Strangers. I'm always going to talk about Passover in this season that we're in. Because you've got to know that so many strange gods was in Egypt. So many strange gods. That's what they were proud of.
That's right.
Jethro came down. And he met Moses after they came out and said, hey, Moses, and he brought him some stuff to eat. And he says, man, I have heard how your God defeated what they were all proud about. Like, this is to Jethro, it was mind-blowing. Because he knew the power of Egypt. Being a priest of Midian, he knew the power of Egypt. And Moses, like, he looked at Moses like in awe. Like, Moses,
your God.
You picked the right God, man. You picked the right God, because his fame is gone out. And we have all heard what he did to the Egyptians and destroyed what they were so proud about. Our fathers and mothers, ladies and gentlemen, saw that with their own eyes. They saw that with their own eyes.
And they felt it too.
They felt it.
They felt it. You know, there's one thing to see, because you like looking on TV, but to be there and feel it, where you feel what's happening, you feel the power, you feel the sea part. Like, you feel the sea part.
You see it.
And see it.
You see a sea split in 2, and you can take the dust of the ground and go, dry ground. And you walk through you know, we talked about that before, right? We said, well, hey, you know, like, if the sea parts, are you walking down in the depth?
Depth.
Like, are you going down in the depth and walking through And then if you're going down in the depth and you look up on both sides, that's a horrific.
That is it.
A horrific scene that you got to say to yourself, this is nothing but the power of God. Like,
of the only
yes,
God.
Thank you.
The only true and living God to do that, because None of their gods could do it. Now you could imagine when they were doing, I'm going through the 10 plagues. Could you imagine the other people that went and sought their gods?
Yeah.
Well, protect us, gods. Because they went to their enchantments.
Absolutely.
When the God of Israel had all the flies, imagine flies all in your nose hole, all in your house. You can't even sleep at night. You can't, all your food is spoiled. They probably went to their enchanters. Nothing happened. They went to burn incense to their gods. Nothing happened. The children of Israel saw this. Nothing happened.
That's right. Good point.
They saw that. They tried to combat that because when the first one was the start.
Yeah.
Okay, they did it. Then Moses ate up both of the others. Then the blood. You could imagine, okay, we can do that. Ha ha, Moses, that's a cheap magician's trick. They tried to do it, didn't happen. So again, he's showing them these other gods that you're speaking to cannot help you. They cannot, but if you do, it will be to your hurt, complete hurt. And that's something to think of.
And that's where we are today.
That's where we are today.
Like everyone who's out there screaming to all the other nations and blaming all the other nations for our predicament. This, what Priest Tyrone just read in verse
5.
Verse 6.
Yeah, 6,
That serving these strange gods would be to our own hurt. And we did.
Yes.
We served every strange god, ladies and gentlemen.
Every single one.
And we served them even more than those strangers who really belonged to those gods. We even went beyond what they were doing. We served those strange gods.
And made more inventions.
And more inventions
to attach to it, to maximize the power of it. Again, because we can see with the days of Elijah, when you have the 2 altars, what did they do? The 400 false prophets of Baal, what did they do?
That's right.
They jumped on there because they're screaming and everything didn't work. They started cutting themselves. And so you can see they're trying now to maximize the power of that God of the dead by saying, okay, now let's do this. Try this or mix your blood with that blood. This, you see, all Israel, it's sick. They're sick. But let's read on. Okay, verse 7. Then will I cause you to dwell in this place, in the land that I gave to your fathers forever and ever. Behold, ye trust in lying words that cannot profit. Lying words. You know, people, hey, touch the screen and you'll be saved. Give me your money and Jesus will bless you. Oh.
No, talk about that, Tyrone.
I'm trying to say.
Talk about that.
We have these doctrines of devils. They come around with their false stories to you. They say, hey guys, I know what your needs are. I see you're impoverished. They can see, and it's that same God of the dead. What do? They go after your lust.
They're vultures.
Vultures, but they see your lust. I want money. I want to be rich. Okay, my brother, Jesus will help you. Just donate to us. Touch the screen. Buy this oil. Come to my shrine. I'm telling you, we'll help you. And all the children of Jacob, by the droves, are going in there. And some of them go even one step further. And they say, I want a bit more power, but I don't want to really deal with anything to do with God. So then they go to familiar spirits. It's the same thing, just a different setting.
But I'm liking where you're going with this because, when we talk about trusting in lying words, the majority of those who say they're Christians, when someone passes, you will always hear someone say, oh, they're gone to a better place. Or they're at the right hand of God singing with the angels.
They're with Jesus.
Right? Oh, they're with Jesus. They're with Jesus and they're singing and they're playing,
they went to
Tupac. Tupac and Biggie's making music in heaven, right?
Oh my God.
No, you know what I mean?
That's true.
Like they're all,
That's true.
Tupac and Biggie's up there making hip hop songs. Like these are lying words. Lying words,
that
guys.
Cannot profit. It cannot profit us anything. Wow. Jeez. Verse 9. Will ye steal, murder, and commit adultery, and swear falsely, and burn incense unto Baal, and walk after other gods whom ye know not, and come and stand before me in this house, which is called by my name, and say, we are delivered to do all these abominations. Wow. This is crazy. They will lie, burn incense, steal, and offer to Baal.
But not only,
still,
go ahead. Yeah.
But yet still come and serve
That's
our
it.
God.
That's it. Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's it.
how is that fathomable? Like, what kind of God really got to our people that perverted them that way? The only thing I can think of is their lust. The lust for what they see of the other nations. The gods of the other nations. They have a king, give us a king. Oh, they've got groves, we want groves. Always looking in the other garden that's astroturf. It's false, it's not real.
But how, you're right though. You make it, again, great points you're making, because how you're going to go to an idol, you're going to go at midnight in a black hood, and you're going to light some black candles, and you're going to cut some white fowls, and you're going to chant all night to Baal.
That's right.
And then on the Sabbath, you walk up to the temple of God, and you enter there to worship God. Like he's saying, like, what's in you? Who told you that you will be delivered from your abominations?
Exactly.
Who told you can do all these things and still come here?
And still come here. And that's something to think about. Because when you think about it, even in today's term, it's exactly that.
Yes.
But some do all manner of things outside and still come into the house of our God and say, I serve the God of Israel.
But check this out. Check this out. To put it in 2021.
Right.
And I know some of you are not going to see it this way, but we're here to teach.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Right.
So some people, you know what whoredoms are, and I'll say whoredoms. Whoredoms is going from one god to another god to another god to another god. And some people, I know when we've had people who've been in this nation who've come as guests and as others, and they're like, okay, I'm here on a Saturday. Sunday, I'm going to go to, I'm going to go to a church.
Yes, yeah.
And then on Monday, I'm going to a YouTube session with some camp.
Yeah.
And then on Tuesday, I'm talking to some bishop or deacon or pastor, and they think that's cool.
I think
it's just about getting knowledge. But that, my friends, is exactly this.
Whoredom.
It's spiritual whoredom.
Oh, and that's exactly what the God of Israel is talking about. Then you expect to be delivered from all of your abominations. You think
who tricked them in thinking that's going to be possible?
It's crazy. Like speaking to so many different gods. You're going and having communion with all these gods. And then after
it's whoredom.
Then after that, some of them go and then they take Holy Communion. Then they go and they talk
that's
to
right,
Father.
Yes.
Then after they finish the Father, then they go to Seventh-day Adventists.
Yes.
My God, 7 just pure whoredom. That's whoring out their own spirit. It's crazy. Verse 11. Is this house, which is called by my name, become a den of robbers in your eyes? Behold, even I have seen it, saith the Lord. But go ye now unto my place, which was in Shiloh, where I set my name at the first, and see what I did to it for the wickedness of my people, Israel. You see?
My man.
My people, Israel. Go back and see what I did to those people, my people. I chastise them. Because it said in Amos 3, what does it say? Verse 2, only you have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will chastise you for all your iniquities. So it says here, my people, Israel. He never said no other nation. My people. Look at what I've done to them. That's the example. Do you want to be like them? Turn from your wicked ways. I don't understand why our people find it so difficult to understand this, because he said, I brought you out of Egypt with a great, mighty, powerful, right stretched out arm, out of your bondage, out of your affliction, out of your pain. I felt it. A father feels it. I'm sure, I know you've got children, and if your son, your daughter's going through pain, you feel that. Sometimes it's a physical pain. I know that mothers do. Sometimes some mothers, because they've given birth to the child, if the child is ill, they feel it. My mum used to say, that she used to feel sick in her belly when any of us were sick. So there's that connection. So you can imagine that connection with the God of Israel and us. He sees we're sick. And look, I'm trying to help you. Don't do what my people did, because I had to chastise them for it. It's such a lovely story, man.
But we don't learn.
We don't learn. We don't
learn, and that's why the scripture is here. And again, I'm transporting back into the old days.
Yeah.
Just imagine, in the midst of the temple, you've got the Pharisees, you've got scribes, you've got all these different factions. I'm pretty sure the Pharisees was brewing around this time too, right?
Yeah.
But even if they weren't, you've got all this disjointed Israelites who at nighttime serve Baal but pretend they don't.
That's right.
Right? Who
That's
serve Chemosh at nighttime but pretend they don't.
Moloch.
Moloch, all of these people in the house.
Yep.
And not only that, they built their gods into the walls of the house of God. And you got to think of Jeremiah, who did not even ask to be a prophet.
Yeah.
He's got to stand there with the king, with the high priest, and with all the princes of Israel, all the men of valor, and the soldiers, all of them looking at him like they want to kill him. Like, what are you saying to us, man? Wow. He had to be there and speak the word of God without fear, favor.
Yes.
And that is such a tough gig.
That's a tough job. That was the toughest job. When you read it, I do not want to be like Jeremiah.
You don't.
You don't, because he even said, don't look on their faces.
Yeah.
Because they'll give you some hard looks, and they're all looking at you with evil intent, because you're bringing, why? The truth. That's all it is. You're bringing the truth, and they're looking at you to want to rip you apart. And you're bringing his word. Yeah. That's a tough job for our man, for our prophet.
It really is.
Our brother Jeremiah.
Yeah.
That is,
That's tough, man.
It's real tough. Verse 13. And now, because ye have done all these words, saith the Lord, and I spake unto you, rising up early, as you said that before, rising up early and speaking, but ye heard not. And I called ye, but ye answered not. Therefore will I do unto this house, which is called by my name. Again, he's speaking to Israel. Called by my name. It's so special. Wherein ye trust, and unto the place which I gave to you, and to your fathers, as I have done to Shiloh. And I will cast you out of my sight, as I have cast out all your brethren, even the whole seed of Ephraim. Therefore, pray not thou for this people, neither lift up the cry nor prayer for them, neither make intercession to me, for I will not hear thee. Wow. That is painful. That's painful, Elder Andel. That's painful. You can listen that the God of Israel is casting Israel, his own people, who is called by his name, out of his sight. Don't pray for these people. You know, sometimes you want to pray for people and you don't know, should I, people say, pray for me. And you just don't, you're not 100% sure what they've done. Maybe they're going through this because they may have done something bad. So I don't know. It's possible. But you could see what he's saying. He said, don't pray for these people. He's will had enough. Not hear you.
He's had enough.
I'm done with you. I'm done.
He's done.
Finished.
And it takes a long time for the God of Israel to get to the done part.
He did. Yes, he does.
He's patient and his mercy endured forever. So for him to get to the point where he is so done, we must have done so many evil. And that's why I'm going to stress, stop saying the white man this and the white man did this to us and this nation did this to us and that nation. Yes, they all had a part. But the reason why they had a part is because we did this. We did this. God's not coming down physically to remove us from the land, but he's going to call a nation from the north.
That's right.
Right? I'm going to call a nation from the north, fierce in anger, to remove you from this land because you have built false gods and worshiped them even in my house. Before my face, you're doing this.
Before my face.
You're not even hiding in a bush somewhere. You brought it to the house which is called by my name.
That is I don't know, insult, it doesn't even give the action justice. Because it also takes me back to when they built the golden calf. Just like you said, no sooner have they seen all the miracles.
100%.
Moses goes up. He comes down. It's not the voice of war I'm hearing, but a voice of singing do I hear. And he's coming down at the base of Mount Sinai. That's like, just right there. And they're building a golden calf and gods. And serving and saying, these be thy gods.
Do you when you're doing this message tonight, do you also think how hard our job in the Israelite nation is and is going to be?
I do.
Like, we've heard Elder Shadrach's bio, and, we had to tell someone in the week that Elder Shadrach's first student was of the Italian band.
That's right.
It wasn't black people that listened to him. He screamed. In fact, his email address back then was Jeremiah, right? Like Elder was Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah.
You're shouting to a people, your own people, to amend their ways thoroughly, right? And follow God. But they don't want to hear this. It was a white man that says, if you teach me and it's true, I will follow.
That's it.
He was the first. And then Elder Michael was the first black person that actually listened to Elder.
That's it.
It's a tough job, but you think as we continue Elder's job, how tough you think it would have, right?
No.
But we got to go out there,
Yes.
Priest Tyrone, each and every week, and it's every moment we have, talking to our people, telling them, stop worshiping other gods. And then we're talking to even those who call themselves Hebrew Israelites. And we're screaming and shouting to them, saying, you have it wrong. You have it wrong. You have some things right. You do understand that you belong to the book.
Right.
You do understand that we are the people of the book. You do. But there's things that you're doing that's wrong. That's completely wrong.
And they've made another god.
Yeah, some of them have, you know?
They have.
So it's our job at the Israelite nation, and it's a tough one. We're not popular.
No.
Because like Jeremiah,
The truth.
or like Elijah, against the 400 plus prophets of Baal, and the 400 plus prophets of the grove. So there was like 800 false prophets, and only him that says, I'm a prophet of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So we never have thousands of people following us because they don't like what they hear. They don't. The truth is tough to hear. But we have to continue. And I say this not just to me and Priest Tyrone. I say this to the Supreme Council and all the councils that belong to this nation and all the brethren. Like, our job is to teach. We are collectively a royal priesthood. We are to teach. If they want to go south, if they want to go north, that's up to them. But we are to teach and teach and teach and teach and teach. And yes, we're going to get, like Jeremiah, we're going to get stumped and stumped and stumped because the world hates this message.
They hate truth.
But we got to keep teaching.
We have to keep and not compromising.
And not compromise.
Not compromise on any level whatsoever. None whatsoever. I like this part here coming up.
All right, let's go.
We're going to it. Now, verse 17 of Jeremiah 7. Seest thou not what they do in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem? The children gather wood, and the father kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes to the queen of heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto other gods, that they may provoke me to anger. Do they provoke me to anger, saith the Lord? Do they not provoke themselves to confusion of their own faces?
Listen, Tyrone.
Oh my gosh!
Before I came to understand who I am as a person, meaning before I came to realize I was an Israelite, and before I came into the Israelite nation, and before I was taught by Elder Shadrach and the priesthood, I was a Christian, and I was Roman Catholic.
Wow!
And yes, sir. And in Roman Catholic religion, there is Mary. They have, right?
That's nice.
And in time of reflection like this, I had to pray to Mary, and Mary is known as the Queen of Heaven. And the Mary throughout history, whether it's Isis. And
Samarasis,
right.
The moon, whatever.
All the other names, right? All the other names is the Queen of Heaven. So some of you who are out there listening for the first time that are Catholics and praying to Mary, I have to tell you that our fathers made that mistake by baking cakes to the Queen of Heaven. There is no such thing as a Queen of Heaven, number one.
And a Mother of God.
And a Mother of God.
That's ridiculous.
Not happening. These are all false gods and deities that was created by man.
Yes.
But they serve these entities. And our fathers followed hard.
Fiercely. Even sacrificed their children later on unto her. Apart from breaking the bread and the wine, drink offerings, it's an insane evil that I don't know how they picked that up. It's so sad, but they continue to do it today, and I like the part.
Read that verse again. Read 18 again.
18 again,
Yeah.
okay. The children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough. That's the entire family he's talking about. The whole family. To make cakes to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto other gods, that they may provoke me to anger. So there's no Passover keeping here because they're kneading dough.
Right.
I'm making a cake unto the king.
Yeah.
So again, there's no Passover, guys. There is no Passover here.
No.
There's no unleavened bread, because we don't have cakes during unleavened bread, during the Feast of Unleavened Bread and Passover. So you see what's happening here. Do they provoke me to anger? Yes, they are, saith the Lord. Do they not provoke themselves to their own confusion of their own faces? They're confused. They know about the power of Moses. They know about the power of the God of Israel.
I don't want to harp on what you said earlier. I'm quoting Priest Tyrone, by the way. This is not my words. That there was a black guy with a beard who was pregnant.
Yeah.
Right? That's confusion of faces.
Complete confusion.
Listen. I'm just quoting what he said, just so you know.
Check it out.
Right? But that's when you that's how we have completely, as a nation, confusion of faces as of this very day, guys. And it's sad. And that's why I know I'm going to keep the time here. I got 14 minutes to be with you.
Yep.
And I want to say again, and I'm going to intervene a little bit here. Next week, Friday, is March the 26th. It is the 14th day in our Israelite calendar. It is the 14th day of the month of Abib. At sunset on next week, Friday, is when we sit down as a family, right? Mm-hmm. Shoes on our feet.
That's right.
And we eat our lamb.
That's right.
Our unleavened bread.
What?
And bitter herbs. And we remember, guys, that we once were in the land of Egypt, in the house of bondage. And our God said, I'm going to rent the heavens and come down personally to deal with this. And he spoke to Moses on the mountaintop and sent Moses with the rod of God.
Yep. Aaron
met him halfway. Yep. And they went. Moses was a God unto Pharaoh, yep, and Aaron was a prophet. Yes. And they did signs and wonders by the mighty right hand of the God of Israel. And he brought them out with great plagues and great wonders. And he purchased our people at that time.
That's right.
So no man could buy us.
No man can buy us.
And he put us in the wilderness where scorpions and things were, but that's not right. One of them had any power over our flesh. Right. He fed us with water that came out of a rock. And with bread that came down from heaven, even manna. Some say it was sweet like a coriander seed.
Yes.
Right?
Angels' food.
Angels' food.
Angels' food.
Rain down quails to our full.
Until it came out the loaves.
Guys, we sat in the wilderness, but the wilderness became almost a luxury hotel to us because God himself was there. Right. He was always there. The cloud was always over the tabernacle. Always. So you can look and just see the cloud always there. And when the cloud decided to move is when we knew to pick it up and we move following the cloud. That was us at this time. You know, look at my shirt, God of Israel over everything. And I mean that. I mean this. Like this is real life, guys.
And also I got to say, my DNA is
Abraham, Isaac, Israel, you.
That's me. It's inside.
Guys,
that's it.
We're not here pretending. No. This is what we truly believe. And if there's anything you get out of this message, is to leave this live production when you're done and to look around and say, you know what, I'm going to decorate for Passover season. Priest Andel and Priest Tyrone says next week, Friday at sunset, is our God's Passover. Right. We're going to blow up some balloons, clean our homes of leaven products, and we're going to keep a Passover. We're going to lift our hands up and say, God of Israel, thank you for delivering our people
Absolutely.
out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. We are returning to you with our whole heart, body, and soul, man.
Amen. Oh my
No,
gosh.
sis, straight talk.
Give me some
Straight
goosebumps,
talk, right?
goosebumps,
We
goosebumps.
got to come back to that because
That's
you
right.
see what Jeremiah had to deal with our people. And that's just Jeremiah.
Yeah.
We can talk about Ezekiel. We can
Ezekiel.
talk about Hosea. We
Yep.
can talk Habakkuk.
Yep.
We can go on and on and on. But every prophet that the God of Israel sent to his people, they killed
They
them.
killed them. Killed them without question. A question. Oh, man. Okay.
We got 10 minutes.
We've got 10
with
minutes.
you.
Okay. So we're going to get down to it. Verse 20. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, behold, mine anger and my fury shall be poured out upon this place, upon man and upon beast, and upon the trees of the field, and upon the fruit of the ground, and it shall burn and shall not be quenched. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, put your burnt offerings unto your sacrifice, and eat flesh. For I spake not unto your fathers, nor commanded them in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt, concerning burnt offerings and sacrifices. But this thing command I them, saying, obey my voice, and I will be your God, and ye shall be my people, and walk ye in all the ways that I have commanded you, that it may be well unto you. But they hearkened not, nor inclined their ears, but walked in the counsels and in the imagination of their evil heart, and went backward and not forward. This is a cry from our God. He said, man, I'm good. It's an emotional. I see why we don't often go into Jeremiah.
Yeah, when Elder used to
Because
read this, he couldn't continue. He
emotional.
He would get emotional. He didn't even, for a certain period of time, he didn't even want to read the book of Jeremiah because it just broke him up.
Yeah.
It broke him up. But you could
see. He said, look, mine anger shall be poured upon you, upon man, your whole family. And it's not just a family. When it says land and trees, everything to do with your life, prosperity, whatever I'm going to destroy everything from you.
Because he's hurt.
Yes.
That's where it comes from.
That's it.
He's
planted
hurt.
the trees. He planted everything for you to have. So he's going to take it away. If it's a father and his son, I know that one of my clients, very, very wealthy, has his son. He gave his son some money. His son spoiled the money in 1 year. He took everything from him. The apartment, the house, everything. Now he has to go back and work for $50 a week.
But check this out. Priest
Same
Tyrone.
thing.
Let me give you another scenario. You got a son.
Right.
You give your son everything. You even put a gold crown on him. You give him everything.
Right.
He takes that, everything you give him, go to the neighbor and says, you're my daddy.
Oh, jeez.
And all the wealth that I have gotten is because of you.
It's
because of you.
Gosh.
How are you going to feel? They do that in the sight of God of Israel.
In his face.
They take his lamb.
Yeah.
I give you a valley, a place with milk and honey. You take the animals that I gave you, and you go on high hills and you sacrifice them to Chemosh and Baal. I give you wheat. I give you rain to fall on your land, to grow your harvest. You take that to bake cakes to the Queen of Heaven.
Wow. And that's what you call highly ungrateful.
Yeah.
Just ungratefulness of our fathers. To do that. To take the blessings what the God of Israel has given to us, and like you said, you're absolutely right. You give it to another God and say, these be thy gods. These be thy gods.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So
That's
you're right. You mentioned that as soon as we came out of Egypt and Moses was up there, the calf, they said, these be thy gods that brought us out of Egypt. This calf, this carved image of an animal is where we're going to give the credit to for all the signs and the wonders that happened in Egypt.
That is, I don't know, Orlando.
We got a lot to fix. Again, we probably can't read it anymore, but in the next 6 minutes, guys, we have a lot of things to fix as a people, right? I mean, I think all the viewers, you could agree with us, right? Thumbs up if you agree. There's a lot of things that we have to fix ourselves. And that's why I'm so happy Elder formed this nation not on racism and on fanaticalism, on radicalism, right? No, it's on truth.
That's it.
The truth shall set you free. And we want all nations to want to learn about this great God, to learn about him. Doesn't matter what color, shape, or size you are. If you want to learn about this God, the great God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, our job here at the Israelite nation, we are a royal priesthood, is to teach. But we can't be blaming every nation for our downfall. No, we can't be doing that, because you see how much we got to repair ourselves.
Like, look, he said, look, if you amend your ways thoroughly, that's personal. That means you've got to look inside yourself, and whatever is in there, you've got to take that out and amend it and fix yourself thoroughly. That means
from head to toe. From head to toe.
Not like, okay, I've done this part, but I still got this part. No, you're still corrupted. It's got to be almost like a new man, a new woman, completely out, complete. Yeah. Now you can go forward in the prosperity of our God, because the last verse it says, but they hearken not. He said, do this, all these blessings will be with you. He said, look, obey my voice and I will be your God. Obey my voice, I'll be your God. And he says, ye shall be my people. Yeah. My people. He already said before that I called you by my name, that we are his people. But no. Why? They walked in their own counsels and imagination. You know that? Imagination is it's a thing, Orlando, because some people, you sit down, you imagine things that's not exactly there. You think things, and then that becomes reality. And that's a problem with our people. You know that they say schizophrenia is high in the black community. I'll say Jacob, high schizophrenia. Things that's not happening, they say has happened. Things that's not, they're hearing things. Their own imaginations. Why? Of their evil hearts, because that's what they lust for. So the mind, the heart, you start formulating something that does not exist, and you say it is. And that's the problem. And they went not forward, but backwards.
All right.
Backwards.
Let's just get the AV team on deck to play a song as we make our last closing statement. Yeah. Again, guys, this was an honor to be here tonight. Yeah. It's the first Sabbath, ending of the first Sabbath in this new year. And if we haven't said it to some of you out there, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And Happy Passover season.
Happy Passover.
We are looking so forward to keeping the feast of our God next week, Friday at sunset, and for 7 days, man.
That's right, man.
We're super, super happy that we have separated ourselves from the world, and we're doing what we need to do for our God, and we're not serving, and we're not talking to strangers. We are not talking to strangers anymore, right? And I hope that you guys and your families and your children, and the old days, as he said, we were doing this for the Queen of Heaven, was a family affair. I hope it is a family affair 7 times over for the God of Israel. Right. Be pumped. Yep. Be super pumped. Yep. For this was the time when the enemies came against us, and the God of Israel released his mighty right hand and smote them. Remember, this is our time, guys. This is the time of the Israelite. This is the time of the God of the Israelites, even the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So with that, Tyrone.
That's real. That's it. That's it. You said it all. That's it.
Good. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much.